Is this working? Yeah, it is. All right. I've just got out of the fucking gym, and a moment of entrepreneurial bloody magic has overcome me, and I'm like, fuck it, I need to start a vlog. This is something that has been on the cards for so bloody long. I've wanted to do it for so long, and I was like, look, if I'm ever gonna do it, the best time to do it is right now. Like, there's no time to wait. You can't wait until it's the right time. You've got the right infrastructure. You've got the peace of mind, whatever. If you're gonna do this, you just have to start. Like, you just got to put it out there. You've got to record it. You've got to do whatever. It just has to start. So I've got a gym upstairs, like, in my attic, and I'm still like sweat. I don't know. You probably can't see that. I'm still sweating. I literally just walked into my room and Googled how to record your face and screen on your Mac. I hope this is even recording. I don't even know if it's going to work. How to record your face and screen on Mac. Open QuickTime and start it. So this is like complete Fugazi life. And then I just Googled a bunch of stuff, which I'm going to show you later, like just to explain whatever the hell's on my mind. Anyway, so what is this? This is a vlog. Why am I doing this? Or what is a vlog? I don't even know. It's basically just me talking to a camera, and that might evolve into a million different things, like me taking a camera around and touring the world, or me doing whatever the hell I do in my life, which will soon be apparent to everyone who ever watches this, or if no one watches it. But yeah, so this is a vlog. Everyone knows what a vlog is. It will evolve into different things, but for right now, I'm literally just going to sit here. Is this actually recording? Anyway. If it's not, then I've spoken to a camera for a hot sec. Or I will be. Where's Naturalis? So everyone knows what a vlog is. It will eventually become something different if this ever takes off and I ever even consistently do this. But for now, I'm going to sit in front of my desk, which I'm going to take a little video of so you can even see my setup while I do this. So my speakers, my this, that, and the other. So yeah, I'm gonna sit here and talk to the bloody camera, and I'm gonna have a bunch of stuff in the background. I'm just gonna talk you through my day, my week, my month, my whatever. So that's what my vlog is for the time being. Why am I doing that? Well, I think there's basically two main reasons. The first one is I like journal, so I do like a daily journal, weekly journal, monthly journal, yearly journal, all this stuff. And for me, it's almost like a way to just kind of, I suppose, like be a bit reflective on yourself, but also kind of more transparently, like in black and white, just put stuff down in terms of how you're feeling, what you're thinking, like flesh out your thoughts, your ideas, like everything down. And it's very, I feel, it helps you feel like, I suppose, like put a label to what you're actually thinking rather than just like floating through your days, your weeks, your months, whatever. So I love journaling, and this I think is basically just like a personal journal for me. If no one ever sees this, I don't even share it with anyone. It's just me like getting my thoughts across, my ideas across, like what I'm just doing, and just talking to someone, even if it's myself, is really really good. I think. So the number one thing is journal, and then from a slightly different perspective of that kind of like feeling yourself thing, I want to be able to look back in like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever, and be like, oh, like right now I'm 24, I'm gonna turn 25 in 5 days, so it's June 15, 2020. I want to be able to look back in some period of time and say, like, oh, what was the 24-year-old, 25-year-old Anti doing? Like, I'd love to be able to do that for the 16-year-old, to be honest, and the 12-year-old, and I didn't do it, unfortunately, but now I'm fucking doing it. So I want to be able to go back in time and say, like, all right, well, now I'm living at my parents' home. I'm doing this XYZ thing with my life, whether it's going to the gym or doing what I'm doing, which I'll soon explain. Why was I doing that? What was I thinking? How was I feeling? Like, what happened? And then I want to see that journey, because the interesting thing is not like once the guy has reached or achieved whatever he's achieved, even if I don't achieve anything, it's not the story of what I did in my 60 years. It's how I got there. It's like the story of coming up or going down or whatever, or even just plateauing. So I want that to be journal. I want to be able to see it, share it, learn from it. I think it will be really, really cool. So that's number one. The second thing is that I think there's a huge value in personal brand. So I would personally love to have fans, or like followers, or people that I like really know me quite well through this mode of communication, which is so amazing right now, which is video and audio. And like through the power of like YouTube, you can just basically share like moments of anything ever. instantaneously with whoever you want. So I think you can basically leverage that to build a really, really intimate relationship with people all around the world. And in the way that, for example, Joe Rogan or like Tim Ferriss or just anyone else starts, they have this really quite in-depth relationship with their fans, such that if Joe Rogan releases a new like nutritional supplement or a new dumbbell or a new whatever, he's basically got this huge infrastructure behind him. He's got a team, he's got the financing, he's got all of this stuff that essentially ensures, which is my favorite phrase of the month, um, which my business partner and best friend, who we'll speak about in a minute, Kieran said, is that he's undeniable in that. He can go and do whatever he wants, and he's genuinely passionate about it. He's not just like selling random stuff. He's not going to sell like a computer mouse, right? He's going to do it in a thing that he cares about, he believes in, he's willing to spend his time, effort, energy in, and he will endorse that with his brand. And because he's got such an intimate following, that will essentially make him undeniable in whatever business venture he does. And I'm personally interested in like martial arts, like healthcare, like music, like lots of different things, like sports, whatever. And if I go into a different venture, if I go and start a pharmaceutical company, if I start a whatever supplement company, I would love to have like a really intimate relationship with a group of people all around the world where I can say, look, you guys trust me. You know what I'm about. This is something I genuinely believe in. And I can immediately just draw their attention to this new thing and have like a sustained, like an immediate minimum bar is this amount of people, this amount of revenue, this amount of attention. I think that's super powerful. So that's the other reason why I would love to do this and for it to actually work. And then I suppose the third reason is that I see myself as quite a creative person. My mom's an artist. I've always like I made like a YouTube channel when I was a kid, like making like Call of Duty montages and stuff. I like photography, so this is just like a creative endeavor. I'm not sure how much time I'm going to be willing to invest into the actual like editing of the videos, at least for the time being. But I would love for it to eventually be like a very quality thing where I can like look at it and say, wow, I'm really proud of that actual output, that video I've put out from a creative perspective. So that's the kind of the what is it, the why is it, the why is personal journey, personal like journaling kind of thing, like the power of a personal brand. And then just like it's a creative output for me, like even if no one ever watches it and I don't even rewatch it, it's just like a creative personal thing to do. So that's the why. The how, I'm not really sure. I think it will eventually perhaps develop into something a lot more than this. But for now, I'm literally going to sit in front of my computer in my bedroom. I live in my parents' house, and I'm going to speak to the camera with my computer screen in the background. I'm just going to talk some crap. So I hope you bloody enjoy. So yeah, anyway, so now I'm going to move on to a little bit of a background, because if I do this consistently, I just, even for my own self, I know myself, I know my own story, but I want to like hash it out in a bit of an objective way so I can see what I was thinking about my own story at this time. So I'm going to use the most boring, and like after I got back from the gym, I Googled this page, the how to record your screen thing, and I just did something super boring, which was, let me get this out of the way. In fact, let me put it here. I just went on my LinkedIn, which is like the most objective thing of what I've done. So let's start right from the beginning. I went to school at Highgate. The reason that's important is because that's where I met all of the friends that I still consider my best friends, and my business partner now, and like best friend now, Kieran. So went to school in London for like, London Highgate for like 15 years. Studied economics at uni, bit of a waste of time, but that led me on to like a bunch of finance roles, a couple hedge funds, a bank. But my family, like super entrepreneurial, like my dad runs a bunch of businesses, my granddad runs a bunch of businesses. So it's always something I've been like obsessed with doing, like running a business. In fact, me and Kieran were best friends at school, and he's like super entrepreneurial as well, like always creating things. We were like selling sweets. I was selling like chocolates. We tried to start like a t-shirt company, like a clothing company, which I've actually like I made like a drawing. Let me show you. I made like a drawing that you see that tiger and Kieran being bloody smart bastard he is. Let me try and find one of these drawings. So yeah, here we go. So Kieran, being the smart bastard he is, I send him a photo of this thing, and he converts into this, and then sets up like this, and we're like trying to make like a clothing brand. There was a time where we were gonna like cook a bunch of meth, a la like Breaking Bad, and like sell it. Uh, like to finance our time not being at uni or something crazy. So yeah, we've always been like entrepreneur, trying to do whatever we can. I was like, and if it was like FIFA, like RuneScape, whatever, like I was obsessed with making some money somehow. Not for the money, just because like it was just like a cool thing to do. Um, so yeah, me and Kieran used to live with each other actually when I was working at Standard Chartered, and we used to like wake up being like, when are we gonna leave the company? When are we gonna do something ourselves? Like when are we gonna do like something entrepreneurial, like actually create something, be like do something meaningful? So after a couple of years, we both ended up like departing our companies, um, and I spent some time after being at Standard Chartered running a health tech business called Anteo, which was it was basically like I won this like Armenian government grant thing, and I hired a bunch of software engineers. We were selling like this health tech software to New York, with like American like healthcare practitioners, which is pretty cool. But startups are super tough, and that just didn't really end up working. And then that basically coincided with Kieran leaving his job in technology. He was working at a tech startup called Brisk, and he basically was like, "Look, Anthony, like we've been working really hard, but we're not working smart. Like we're basically selling our time for money, and we should be selling output, not time, right?" So we he had been consulting, like doing some freelance consulting for like various family friends and stuff like that, just under his personal kind of name. And we basically just decided to institutionalize that through our consultancy called Django Digital. Um, and we just offered like a bunch of traditional like consulting services like strategic, financial, operational consultancy, leverage our like personal brands. Like Kieran used to work in a couple of investment banks, like same with me. Kieran stayed at Oxford, I went to like York and Imperial. So we basically just leverage our personal brands, with the idea that maybe we can get a bunch of clients doing this kind of strategic consultancy stuff, and then we can arbitrage like a bunch of people off like Upwork, pay them like 10, 15, 20 quid an hour, and then charge our clients like 50 quid an hour for that same service. So we did that for a little while. One of the companies we were consulting, and I had them somewhere here, was, and I can't find it. Oh, it's Naturalis. So this like CBD brand. So we were doing this Django Digital stuff for a while, and we were like, this the notion was like, look, we can do this from anywhere in the world. Like, let's go to Barcelona. Like, let's travel around. Like, we can sell our services digitally, remotely. We can go like super Tim Ferriss style. And like, if we end up finding something that we're super passionate about, we want to change the world and make like $1 billion venture backed startup. Like, go, yeah, sure. But for now, we're just selling our time. For money, and that's not good enough. Like we want to be smarter than that. We want to sell our output. So we were consulting for a company called Naturalis, a CBD business. That was through Kieran's family friend called Kamal, and he eventually asked us to help them with one of their rounds of financing. So we started like jumping pretty deep into this world of cannabis, and we ended up spending, instead of going traveling the world and doing our consultancy, we kind of took a step back from that and started focusing on the cannabis industry. And there were a couple of guys that were starting up a fund, like an investment fund in the cannabis space. And we're interested in healthcare, we're interested in like medicine, we're interested in startups, and the cannabis space was kind of an intersection of all of those things. So we thought it was a really good opportunity, and we were actually going to co-found a business with them doing conferences in the cannabis space in Asia. So that was what really was quite attractive to Kieran and I, because we thought Asia is like a really exciting economy, like geography, like we love the culture. We were very happy to spend our early 20s going around running conferences in cannabis in Asia, because it would basically represent spending like a month, like a couple of weeks in Tokyo, a couple of weeks in Shanghai was like a super cool opportunity. But unfortunately, that didn't really take place. We ended up doing a couple of conferences actually in Europe, um, but coronavirus hit. The fund was probably not really going to be able to raise money, so Kieran and I decided to leave that opportunity. And that was eventually called the Conscious Fund. The website's here, like early stage ventures and plant based medicine, and we're also investing in some like psychedelics businesses as well. So after leaving that, it was coronavirus. So we were like, well, there's not really much to do. If it was normal situation, we probably would have gone off to like Bali or Thailand or something like that, and just started like traveling, take a little break, like come back to London like fresh, like with a fresh perspective, and just like hit work again, like super like laser focused. Um, but because of coronavirus, we couldn't do that. So I decided to Kieran and I basically mutually decided to take a bit of a break. And something that I'd always wanted to do was just read a ton of books. So I put together this learning plan. Um, and I started doing like a bunch of Coursera courses. Like I think I did like 3 Coursera courses in like psychology and um, Buddhism and some other stuff. Uh, and yeah, here. So I read like 20 or 30 books or something in like 2 months. The green ones are the ones I've read. So yeah, you can see there's like a ton of books, and I'll probably go over this at a different time, like what exactly I did. And I love like martial arts, so I was doing loads of like Muay Thai in my room, like shadow boxing and stuff, like tons of it. And Kieran's been making music since like forever. Like I remember when we were 15, his birthday present was like a machine, and he got this machine and he was like tapping on it, and I remember him opening it. He was like so excited. Um, and he's like like very musical. He's probably explored like every facet of the music industry ever, which I don't even know what that is, but like just knowing him, he probably has. And yeah, like he's been like producing just as a hobby for like years. So he was like, I'm just gonna make a bunch of music at home because I love it, and I haven't really been able to do it because we were burning ourselves out with this cannabis stuff. Um, so he did that for a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks later, we have a call, and he's like, "Look, dude, I think like the best chance I have of like monetizing this Corona period, at least the way I want to try and monetize it, maybe, is to try and sell my music online." And he was like, "Look, do you want to help me, man?" So not that I don't think he probably needed help, but like the bigger, the more people involved, the better, I guess. Um, Anyway, I jumped at the opportunity because fuck it, why not? It's Corona, and I love working with Kieran. It was a cool thing to do, and we've been doing that for like 2 months. So Kieran was like already producing. Like our name for our consultancy is Django Digital, which I think is a fucking cool name. Uh, but yeah, Django is Kieran's middle name, and it's also his producer name. So we started up this page. In fact, Kieran already started it. Sorry. Um, we started up this page. Kieran started it. Sorry, it had like 100 followers. So we like probably like institutionalized it a little bit. And we've got. I don't know when we start. Let me see. We started. Let me go to our first post ever 8 weeks ago. So slightly less than 2 months. We've gone from about 100 followers to 3,500, which is pretty good. Like we've never done this before, so it's pretty good coming from nothing, I think. We've been like so basically Kieran will basically produce the beat. He'll create this, as you can see, these kind of the artwork for the beat, and send it to me over Google Drive, the fucking piece of shit software here. And I'll schedule it through Buffer and schedule it onto a kind of basically a platform like a marketplace for selling instrumental music called BeatStars, and we'll try and sell it. And we've actually got a bunch of rappers on some of the music, and we as like people, we love like R&B, hip hop, trap, drill. That's like the music we listen to. So that's the music that Kieran produces as well. So we've got a bunch of music that we possibly might like some of it because we're like targeting like up and coming rappers, so they're not like the most gifted at the moment, but they're definitely up and coming, and like possibly some of the music I'd actually listen to. So that's really really cool. And Yeah, I don't know. Like music for me, it's not necessarily something that I've been as passionate about as like let's say Kieran, for example, because he's been doing it since, like he's just obsessed with it since he was a kid. But I think it's a creative industry. Everyone in there is like really really cool. Everything I've been learning, like, I read a bunch of books about it. watched a ton of videos, like listened to like every podcast I can possibly find. Really, really enjoying it so far, and like possibly what we might end up doing is maybe kind of using the skills that we've developed through our more kind of corporate experiences, like within banking, hedge funds, like tech startups, stuff like that, to maybe start like a mini record label, or something along those lines. And like, for example, Kieran's found a bunch of quite talented producers, like 16 years old, 18 years old, like that, and like they don't have the necessarily the business skills that we do. So we could definitely kind of help them out. We've already done tons of research into like all the publishing side of things, the record label side of things, the whole kind of administrative infrastructure behind getting music out online, and just the general industry stuff. So we could definitely help people out with that. So yeah, like that's kind of where we are now. There's so much more I could probably speak about in terms of what we're thinking about music, and then just generally what we've done. Like we spent some time like looking into like investing in vending machines. I was doing this tech trip thing and taking like students around the world to Armenia. Um, but yeah, like this is what we're doing. It's a creative thing. I'm probably gonna stop around here because I don't want this to go on for too long. But the idea is basically I'm gonna sit in front of a camera and talk something, and get some sort of content down for a personal reason, for whatever reason, regularly. And it's going to be a cool journey. So big, 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 big love. I'm going to get I literally came from my gym into my room and recorded this straight away. So I'm going to get my post gym nutrition in. And then I'm going to hit the work. I haven't even spoken to Kieran. I need to call my mom. I need to do a bunch of stuff today. But that's it for now. I hope this is even recorded. I've never done this before.